Caitlyn Clark's recent appearance on NBC was marked by a level of composure that suggested a deep familiarity with the spotlight.
You didn't even show my pictures of LeBron I took. Did you guys see them?
I saw because he reposted them, girl.
Absolutely.
I saw them.
She appeared calm and in control, providing a clear indication of her current trajectory. While league executives continue to debate ratings and expansion, Clark's presence on national television offered a tangible look at the sport's direction. The timing was notable, following her performances in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup Qualifiers. From the outset, her tone was distinct. Clark avoided rehearsed or corporate responses, speaking instead with an understanding of her position and what she represents. This presence is the result of years spent managing high-pressure situations and significant expectations. When the conversation turned to her time with NBC, she emphasized her interest in the technical aspects of the game, analyzing its flow and mechanics from an external perspective. It is an approach often associated with previous generations of players who prioritized a comprehensive mastery of the craft. Her clarity was a defining feature of the interview. When asked about the growth of women's basketball, she acknowledged the current momentum without overlooking the challenges that remain. She maintained a grounded perspective, avoiding overstatement while recognizing the reality of the sport's evolution. This focus on results carried over into the discussion of international play. Her time in the FIBA qualifiers moved the conversation beyond potential and toward documented performance in high-stakes environments. Clark described the shift in style required for international competition, noting the different pace, physicality, and the weight of representing a national team. Her performances during the qualifiers, characterized by efficient scoring and playmaking, demonstrated an ability to adapt to international rules and spacing. This transition often takes years for professional players, but Clark adjusted through preparation and a technical understanding of the game. When reviewing clips from her recent games on air, Clark's demeanor remained focused. She provided a detailed breakdown of her decision-making and floor spacing. These observations were not designed for highlights. They were a professional analysis of defensive layers and purposeful movement. This emphasis on fundamentals contrasts with the league's typical focus on marketing personalities and narratives. It suggests a belief that the game's foundation remains its primary draw. Throughout the interview, Clark addressed the broader implications of the growing spotlight. She acknowledged the excitement surrounding the sport, but emphasized that growth carries responsibility. She spoke about the importance of being an example for younger players and honoring the history of the game. Her rise appears earned, built on consistent performance rather than manufactured hype. When asked about the pressure of being the face of the sport, Clark indicated that she does not avoid those expectations. She views pressure as a space where a player's capability is revealed. Her transition from a record-breaking collegiate career to the professional stage has been marked by an acceleration in her performance. Her success in the FIBA qualifiers confirms that her style is not dependent on a specific system. It is a game that translates across environments. Clark's stated goals remain straightforward: continued improvement and a commitment to winning. This consistency is the foundation of a professional legacy. Her recent visibility on NBC and her execution in international play represent a shift in the sport, reinforcing the idea that the quality of the game itself remains the main attraction. As the sport reaches a crossroads of increased attention and scrutiny, Clark continues to focus on the fundamentals. Her recent trajectory suggests that her influence on the game is expanding. She is no longer just a participant in the narrative of basketball. She has become its central figure. The impact of this transition extends into the financial and operational structure of the league. For years, the WNBA operated within a specific economic framework, defined by modest growth and a primary focus on sustainable survival. The arrival of a player with this level of market gravity has forced a re-evaluation of that model. Attendance figures for the Indiana Fever did not just increase, they reset the baseline for what is possible in a mid-market city. This surge was not limited to home games. Rival teams moved their contests to larger NBA-sized arenas to accommodate the influx of spectators, a logistical shift that speaks to a direct correlation between individual performance and league-wide revenue. This economic shift is most visible in the sudden urgency surrounding league infrastructure. The long-standing debate over player travel and the use of charter flights moved from a secondary grievance to a non-negotiable requirement. When the logistical demands of a high-profile season collided with the traditional commercial travel model, the league was forced to accelerate its investment in private transportation. This was a decision driven by the need to protect the health and safety of athletes who were now operating under a much higher level of public scrutiny and physical demand. It marked a definitive end to the era of the WNBA as a strictly grassroots endeavor and signaled its entry into the tier of major professional sports properties. The technical evolution of the game is equally significant. Opposing coaches have had to revise their defensive schemes to account for a shooting range that previously existed only in the men's game. The gravity Clark exerts on the court, where defenders are pulled away from the basket simply by her presence, has created new opportunities for her teammates. This has led to a broader discussion about offensive efficiency and the value of the three-point shot in the women's professional game. It is a tactical shift that mirrors the revolution seen in the NBA a decade prior, where the floor is stretched and the pace of play is dictated by high-volume, high-accuracy shooting. Off the court, the valuation of women's sports endorsements has undergone a similar recalibration. Historically, brand partnerships in this space were viewed through the lens of social responsibility or niche marketing. That perspective is no longer accurate. The multi-year, multi-million-dollar deals being signed now are based on traditional metrics: reach, conversion, and cultural relevance. When a signature shoe deal is announced for a female athlete in today's market, it is treated as a standard business development rather than an anomaly. This shift provides a blueprint for future generations, establishing that the market value of a player is tied directly to their ability to command an audience. This visibility has also changed the media landscape. Coverage of the WNBA has moved from the back pages of sports sections to lead segments on national broadcasts. The nature of the commentary has changed as well. Analysts are spending less time explaining the rules of the league and more time debating the nuances of pick-and-roll coverage or transition defense. This move towards specialized technical reporting is a sign of a maturing sports product. The audience is no longer being introduced to the game, they are being invited to analyze it. The physical toll of this transition cannot be overlooked. Clark's schedule over the past 2 years has been relentless, moving from a deep collegiate postseason run directly into the WNBA draft and then immediately into a professional training camp. This no-off-season reality is a unique challenge for top-tier women's basketball players. The mental and physical stamina required to maintain a high level of play under these conditions is substantial. It requires a sophisticated approach to recovery and training, one that utilizes advanced data and sports science to ensure longevity. This focus on long-term health is becoming a central part of the professional conversation, as the league looks to protect its most valuable assets. In the collegiate ranks, the ripple effect is evident in recruiting and viewership. The 2025 and 2026 recruiting cycles show a generation of guards who have modeled their games after this high-volume, long-range style of play. Young athletes are no longer just practicing layups and mid-range jumpers, they are training to shoot from well beyond the arc. This stylistic shift is coupled with a massive increase in collegiate viewership, as fans who were introduced to the game during Clark's time at Iowa continue to follow the sport. The retention rate of these fans suggests that the interest was not just a passing trend, but a permanent expansion of the basketball audience. The international context provides another layer of complexity. Success in the FIBA qualifiers demonstrated that the American style of play remains the global standard, but it also showed that international teams are closing the gap. European and South American leagues have long emphasized fundamentals and tactical discipline, qualities that Clark has integrated into her own game. This cross-pollination of styles is making the international game more competitive. It also raises the stakes for the upcoming Olympic cycles, where the pressure to maintain American dominance will be higher than ever. The expansion of the WNBA into cities like Golden State and Portland is a direct response to this increased demand. For a long time, the league was cautious about growth, prioritizing the stability of existing franchises. That caution has been replaced by a strategic push for expansion into tech-heavy, sports-centric markets. These new franchises are entering a league that has a much higher entry cost than it did 5 years ago, reflecting the increased value of a WDV women's basketball division franchise. The business of the league is now focused on scaling the product to meet a global audience. This scaling process involves a heavy reliance on digital platforms and social media. While traditional television ratings remain high, the game is increasingly consumed through short-form video and digital streaming. This has created a new kind of interaction between players and fans. The focus is on the technical highlights, the precision passes, and the deep shots that can be shared and analyzed instantly. It is a modern way of building a fan base that values substance and skill over scripted narratives. As the league enters negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, the focus will likely be on revenue sharing and salaries. The current economic data provides a strong argument for a significant increase in player compensation. The revenue generated by ticket sales, merchandise, and broadcast rights has created a new surplus that will be a central point of discussion between the players' union and league ownership. This is a standard part of professional sports growth, but in the context of the WNBA, it represents a historic turning point in how women athletes are compensated for their work. The role of the coach in this new era is also evolving. Coaching a player with Clark's specific skill set requires a different approach to game planning. It involves creating a system that maximizes her range while ensuring that the rest of the team remains involved and productive. It is a balancing act that requires high-level strategic thinking. We are seeing a move toward more data-driven coaching, where every possession is analyzed for its efficiency and every lineup is tested against defensive metrics. The legacy of this period will likely be defined by the normalization of women's basketball as a major commercial and cultural force. The conversation is no longer about whether the game can survive, but about how much it can grow. This shift is driven by a combination of individual talent, strategic business decisions, and a changing media landscape. The fundamentals remain the same, but the platform has been transformed. Looking ahead, the focus will remain on the consistency of performance. The initial surge of interest is a significant milestone, but long-term success depends on the ability to deliver at a high level year after year. For a player like Clark, the challenge is to continue evolving, to find new ways to beat defenses that are increasingly focused on stopping her. This ongoing chess match between a star player and the rest of the league is what drives the narrative of professional sports. The transition from a college star to a professional anchor is nearly complete. The metrics, both on the court and on the balance sheet, confirm that the impact is real. It is a period of rapid change, characterized by high stakes and high expectations. In this environment, the players who succeed are those who can maintain their focus on the game while navigating the complexities of a professional career. The broader implications for women's sports are clear. The success of this era proves that there is a massive, underserved market for high-quality women's athletics. When the product is presented with the same level of professionalism and investment as men's sports, the audience responds. This realization is changing how investors, broadcasters, and fans view the entire landscape of women's sports. It is a move away from the alternative label and toward a status as a primary sports product. The technical proficiency on display in recent games suggests that the skill ceiling for the league is continuing to rise. We are seeing better shooting, more sophisticated passing, and more disciplined defense across the board. This is the result of better training, more resources, and a more competitive environment. As the league continues to attract the best talent from around the world, the quality of play will only improve. The connection between the collegiate game and the professional ranks has never been stronger. The transition from Saturday afternoon college broadcasts to primetime professional games is now a seamless experience for the viewer. This continuity is essential for building a loyal fan base that follows players throughout their entire careers. It creates a sense of history and progression that is the hallmark of any great sport. In the studio and on the sidelines, the level of analysis continues to sharpen. Former players and professional broadcasters are providing a level of insight that respects the intelligence of the audience. They are breaking down the intricacies of the game, highlighting the subtle movements and decisions that separate great players from good ones. This elevated discourse is a necessary component of the sport's growth, as it helps the audience appreciate the craft at a deeper level. The focus on the future remains grounded in the work of the present. While there is much discussion about what the league will look like in 5 or 10 years, the immediate priority is the next game, the next practice, and the next season. This steady commitment to the process is what allows for sustained growth. It is a professional mindset that prioritizes long-term goals over short-term headlines. The story of the game is being written in real time, through every pass, every shot, and every win. It is a story of evolution, driven by a new generation of players who understand the power of their platform and the importance of their performance. They are not just playing for themselves, they are playing for the future of the sport, and as that future unfolds, it is clear that the foundation is stronger than it has ever been. The current atmosphere surrounding the league is one of anticipation. There is a sense that the sport is on the verge of something even larger, a global expansion that will bring the game to new audiences and new markets. This growth is supported by a robust infrastructure and a clear strategic vision. But at its core, it is still about the basketball. It is about the competition, the skill, and the drama of the game itself. This focus on the fundamentals is what will ensure that the current momentum is not lost. By prioritizing the quality of the game, the league is building a product that can stand the test of time. It is a strategy that honors the traditions of the past while embracing the possibilities of the future. And as the lights get brighter and the stakes get higher, the players continue to deliver, proving that the game is in good hands. The shift in the cultural conversation is perhaps the most lasting impact of this era. Women's basketball is no longer a topic of debate regarding its viability. It is a topic of analysis regarding its excellence. This change in perspective is a testament to the skill and dedication of the athletes who have pushed the sport forward. They have earned their place in the spotlight, and they are making the most of the moment. As the season progresses, the focus will naturally shift to the playoffs and the pursuit of a championship. This is the ultimate test for any professional athlete, the moment where individual stats matter less than team success. The pressure will be immense, but as we have seen, this is an environment where the best players thrive. They are prepared for the challenge, and the audience is ready to watch. The road ahead is long, but the direction is clear. The sport is moving forward with confidence, backed by strong fundamentals and a growing audience. The players are leading the way, demonstrating every day what it means to be a professional at the highest level. They are setting a new standard for excellence, one that will inspire future generations for years to come. In the end, the success of this period will be measured by the stability and growth it leaves behind. It is about building something that lasts, something that continues to grow and evolve long after the current stars have moved on. By focusing on the game, the fundamentals, and the professional standards of the sport, the league is ensuring that its future is secure. The story is indeed just getting started, but the opening chapters have already changed the landscape of sports forever.